How is Stephen Curry doing this? Forced to carry a generationally bad offensive team without him while battling a tailbone contusion, Steph's individually put the Warriors in playoff contention and has put up 4 straight games of 30-plus points. This video shows you the facts behind how Curry's making history, and stick around to see a prediction on if the Dubs will sneak into the playoffs. Only 21% of the people who watch these videos are subscribed, so pressing that sub box would go a long way. Handles answers last vid's question by saying the Jazz are real contenders and that as a Lakers fan, he's scared of this team. We'll see if Utah can live up to that hype these playoffs, but appreciate the great take. Coming up is the question for next video shoutout. 2 stats reveal how bad the Warriors become when the greatest shooter in league history isn't on the floor. In the 8 games that Curry's missed this year, the Warriors have been outscored by a combined 133 points. Another telling stat is when Curry's on the bench, Golden State has the worst offensive rating of any team in the last 5 seasons. However, with Curry on the court, the Warriors have the 13th best offense this season. Against the Milwaukee Bucks, who didn't have Giannis to be fair, the chef completely had his way, whether he was coming off pin downs or saucing up defenders in pick and roll scenarios. And this was a must-win for Golden State because they had lost 7 of their last 8 games coming into this one, and they were beginning to lose their spot in the play-in tournament. But in the Bay Area on this night, the former 2-time MVP wasn't about to let his team go down that easily. The Dubs' generationally great point guard scored 30 of his 41 points in the second half, all with debatably the NBA's best lockdown defending point guard in Drew Holiday draped all over him. Of course, Curry's known for his deep-range 3-point bombs from extraordinary distances, but his ability to turn that space into easy shots for his teammates is special to watch. And that sense for knowing when to create offense on his own or when to drop it off to a teammate is something you won't find with almost any other point guard. And Coach Steve Kerr described that one-of-a-kind passing ability perfectly, saying, "The assists don't even begin to tell the story of what a good passer Steph is. He can make passes with either hand, and he gets blitzed so often that a lot of his passes come in traffic under duress, and he does an incredible job of getting the ball out of traps and finding the right guy. I just think his body, his mind, everything, it has really sort of peaked this season. It just feels like his awareness level, his understanding of the defenses he's seeing, combined with a physical strength, is really impressive." Against the Bucks, Steve's Warriors overcame a 12-point deficit in the second half, and Curry opening up all the space in the world for his teammates had everything to do with that. In the midst of his 19-point third quarter, the former 2-time MVP put his name on an all-time 3-point record that wasn't even thought of just a few seasons back. Stephen amassed a total of 201 3-point shots made through 43 games this season, and this latest 203 season is the 8th of his career, which surpasses his teammate Klay Thompson for the most in league history. Curry's become the all-time assist leader this year, but now he's under 100 points away from passing Wilt for the franchise record in scoring. But Steph doesn't care about any of those records if the Warriors don't get back to the playoffs this year, and his positive, driven mentality, despite having young, at times incompetent teammates next to him, is amazing to see. They're slumping lately, however, Golden State is still in contention for the play-in tournament, as they're currently owners of the 10th seed in the Western Conference with a game-and-a-half lead on the New Orleans Pelicans. Despite the Warriors' tremendous dependence on Curry, they're looking ahead to a few very winnable games on the schedule. The inspiring leadership Steph's brought to the table has made getting into the postseason a possibility. Most superstars wouldn't put up with their young teammates' inconsistencies. This year we've seen James Harden give a lack of effort and flip on his Houston Rocket teammates, and that's become the expected response from the modern-day top player. Loyalty in the NBA has become a rarity, but even more hard to find are star players remaining as great leaders and staying upbeat in losing situations. Instead of trying to turn their teams around, requesting a trade and pouting has become a popular trend. No disrespect to Harden, the man wanted to win a championship, but it's still so damn refreshing to see Steph do everything he can to get the most out of the limited talent around him. And all of this is while Curry is battling a tailbone contusion. To safeguard himself from re-injuring the injury he suffered in mid-March, Curry has to sit on what he calls a nice little butt pad when he sits on the bench. The injury is still clearly bothering him, but hasn't affected his production in the slightest bit. If anything, Steph has used this setback to push even harder, as he scored 30 or more in every outing since that injury. Yet another bit of adversity he's had to deal with is Steve Kerr limiting his playing time. When you're walking the razor-thin tightrope that the Warriors are right now, you need every minute, every point you can get from Curry. Having said that, he played 38 minutes on Tuesday, just over 4 more than his 33.8 per game average for the season. He could easily be averaging around 35 to 37 minutes per game. But the Warriors may not want to overuse Curry, because this is turning out to be a very confusing season for the organization. Golden State currently finds themselves stuck between two incompatible agendas. They want to win now, but they also want to develop rookie James Wiseman and save Curry's legitimately in high leverage minutes, but most of the time he doesn't. So a lot of the L's the Warriors are taking is out of Steph's control, and the Warriors getting into the playoffs really comes down to the following question. Will Kerr continue to give Steph that extra chunk of playing time, or was this a special case due to a break in schedule? Whether Kerr pushes Curry a little bit extra down the stretch, even when the schedule doesn't line up, could be the difference between the Warriors sneaking into one of the two play-in spots and ending up in the lottery. Curry talked about playing more minutes than Kerr had planned for him, saying, "Considering where we are right now and the way the game was shaping out, it was winning time, and thankfully it worked out. So I don't know what it looks like on the season when I play a couple of extra minutes and what our record is, but it was necessary tonight." Curry's lack of an inflated ego, his willingness to share every bit of the spotlight with his teammates and not let their struggles affect his focus, that's outshined the impressiveness of any of his broken records. But now for the question you've stuck around for, and that's if the Warriors will return to the playoffs after last season's miserable 15th place finish. Whether Golden State can build off their performance against the Giannis-less Bucks team remains to be seen, given the inconsistencies they've struggled with all year. But for a group that was feeling as down on itself as it has been all season after losing 4 straight, the win, combined with the fact that Curry continues to dominate when he's on the floor, gives the organization hope that it can close out the season on a higher note. Another thing that bodes well for Warrior fans is their strength of schedule remaining, even though it doesn't mean a ton right now because of injuries. However, with 2 games against the bottom-feeding Rockets, 2 games against the Wizards, and 1 game each against the Timberwolves and Cavaliers, the Warriors have the 28th most difficult schedule remaining, so the Warriors have to take advantage of the opportunity against playing those bottom-feeding teams. But if Curry stays healthy, I think Golden State finds a way to get into the play-in tournament, but it won't be easy with the Zion and Ingram-led Pelicans right on their tail. The question for next video shoutout is, why or why not will Golden State make the playoffs? This was D-Flow, hope you have a great day, and I'll see you next video.